Welcome everyone to Boom Mike Banter. This is episode 12. With me today is nobody extra, just me, myself, and I. Do another solo episode. I know I did that a couple weeks back. Wanted to try it again, see how it was gonna go. I'm gonna leave this one a lot more probably like uncut, unedited. So if I'm saying like the same word 15 times or something, I deeply apologize. But I've had a pretty fucking crazy couple weeks. I wanted to catch up with a lot of the guests about it. I really haven't had a chance to, so I wanted to have more of a one-on-one with, all the listeners and give you guys a heads up on what's been going on. It's all been good. That's the first piece of great news. Everything has been fucking amazing. So my mom at this point is 100% cancer free, which is great. I'm gonna have her back on the podcast actually after we get done with vacation. I do have a vacation coming up, so I'm super fucking excited. In 3 days, we are going to Seaside Heights, which is literally for me the Jersey Shore, which is a trip that we try to go to every year as a family. I used to live back in Jersey for anybody who doesn't know, and it's one of my favorite places to go of all time. I love going there every year. The food's amazing. The people typically can be genuine or they're drunk as shit and assholes, and who the fuck cares? That's just what happens when you go to a shore. But on the other hand, I get to spend time with my family, which is great. I love my family. I know with some people it's a total 50-50 on whether you enjoy your fucking house, your immediate family life or not. I am one who does. I love the hell out of my mom and brother, so that should be very fun. And especially for me and my brother, we really don't get too much downtime. We both mutually game together sometimes, so that's cool. But other than that, that's really kind of the only downtime that we really make sure that we get now, especially since Jesus Christ, I've been out of my mom's now for fucking years. So yeah, that's been phenomenal. I have the vacation coming up. I cannot be more excited about that. But guys, I really did want to jump on this podcast because I had the weirdest fucking day. I want to say it was let me double check what today is. Today is I wish I knew what day it was. Today's Friday. Today's Friday, the 5th. I hope I record this, or I hope I post this today. Obviously, I'm recording this now. I hope I post this today. Worst case, if I don't, it'll definitely be tomorrow at some point. I want to say this must have been Thursday night, because Spider-Man, spoilers for anybody, I did see the new Spider-Man movie. It was fucking awesome. It was really good. I'm not going to spoil, just so everybody immediately doesn't, auto-tune out. I don't want to do a whole review of the movie. I'm actually planning to probably have somebody else on for that. I gotta double check if their schedule is available, but I hope that we can actually go in details on the movie and everything. But I will say this, and this is purely my personal opinion. I don't want this to get twisted. I loved the movie. I love what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing to have Spider-Man blend into that universe and have it be a whole coexisting thing. I'm very happy and proud of that as a huge comic book fan. The only thing that hurts my fucking soul though is I just really still want a top 100% impeccable notch of the original comic book story. And that's not to say later on down the road that it couldn't be animated, the new Spider-Man movie that came out last year with Miles Morales, which was great. Into the Spider-Verse, I love stuff like that. I'm a huge fan of that. If anything, I'd totally be down for something like that. And I know people have recommended, because I've talked to a lot of people about it. A lot of people have recommended check out Spectacular Spider-Man's a really good one, stuff. But it's still it's a different story and it puts the characters in different stuff. And I just want an actual direct comic adaptation. And I know everyone's going to tell me, but Nick, just watch the fucking first original movies. And I'm aware of that, but it still misses the mark on a lot of stuff. A lot of major stuff. So yeah, that's the only thing that bums me out. And I think every time, even when I saw Homecoming and then now with the new one, I think I still have this pre-notion in my mind of just oh man, I'm finally going to get that, penultimate Spider-Man thing. And I'm just not. It's very different. And I just want to reiterate, I'm not discrediting Tom Holland. I think he's fucking amazing. I think he's killing it as Spider-Man. Him as an overall character, I think is impeccable. Me personally, I and this is going to be the biggest debate of all time, and I'll probably debate this on the podcast when I go into a full Spider-Man review. I personally liked Andrew Garfield the best. I think he handled the romanticism that Spider-Man has, or like Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I think that he handled that the best because when you are reading Spider-Man for it, at least in a lot of the original comics, I'd personally say at least 25 to 30% of the comic book is a big romance, love triangle, convoluted story, in a good way. And I think Andrew played that very well. I think he did a really good job with that. And his Spider-Man, the fact that he really could flip the more passive aggressive Peter Parker and then flip it into the really cocky, really witty talking like Spider-Man. I think he did a really good job of that. Now, did I think he was the most excellent Peter Parker? No. I think that there definitely could have been some other stuff there. But personally, he's still my favorite Spider-Man. I know everyone's going to rip me apart, and I'm not saying the Amazing Spider-Man movies are good, because both movies are very bad, and they have a lot of problems and issues, especially Amazing Spider-Man 2. But just him as a character, I think he's an amazing actor, and I think it went well. But overall, movie standpoint, Spider-Man standpoint, the latest Spider-Man movies, you can't beat them. They're amazing. The stuff that goes on in this new movie is great. Like I said, I don't want to go into details of stuff because if I do, I will 100% spoil things. It's very good. Please check it out. The first post-credit scene will make you jump out of your chair. It made me. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And I hope you guys look forward to that one coming up. Otherwise, the whole fucking wacky night that I wanted to get into is about Spider-Man. So I went and saw Spider-Man theaters, and it was great. I went with a group of my friends. They sent me an invite for it. It was kind of last minute. And I just jumped in. I said, sure, fuck it, let's go. So we went, and everything was cool, and we had a great fucking time. We actually hung out a little bit beforehand, because we went to go see the midnight showing on Thursday. So we hung out probably around like 8 or 9 o'clock. Just shot the shit, had a good time, grabbed some food, just hung out, played some games. And then we went to the movies. And for some fuck all reason, and I don't know if anybody has ever had this feeling, and for me it happens I shouldn't say it happens all the time, but when it happens, it's always almost the same way. I'm in a really great mood like I normally am. I'm entertaining people like I usually do, even in my downtime. And for some fucking reason, we hit near the end of the movie, and my brain is just going a fucking mile a minute. Like I'm super heavy thinking about stuff. And I don't know why, because I'm in the middle of watching a movie, and like I said, I love the movie, and I was locked into the movie the whole time. But it was like right when we hit the credits of the movie, my brain is just going a mile a fucking minute, and I don't know why. So that's happening, and my friend next to me like elbows me and kind of jostles me and double checks me and is like, "Hey, are you doing okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like, what the fuck do you mean? And she was like, "You're being like super fucking quiet. And you're normally like, the most talkative one in the room." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm absorbing the movie." And I usually do that too, on a side note. Typically, I go to the movies by myself. I usually go to the movies by myself just so I can 100% enjoy the movie, so I don't have any distractions. I don't have to worry about a weird social cue or something going on. Like, I can literally just watch it, absorb it 100%, and have it be completely uninterrupted. I normally don't even like when people sit next to me during movies, unless it's my friends. Like, of course, if it's people I know, then I love. But if it's like fucking strangers, that drives me fucking insane. I will literally go out of my way to like not sit next to anybody, because I will enjoy the movie better. Just facts. Like I said, so cut back to my friend elbowing me, double checking them, okay? And I was like, "Yeah, what the fuck's wrong with you? I'm fine." So I get out of the movie, I'm driving home, and same thing, my brain is just fucking cycling. And it's one of those, and I know I'm being generic about this, so I apologize, but it's just that thing of like, at least in the beginning, I'm gonna decode this in a minute for you guys, but it just in the beginning of it, it's like I didn't even know what in particular I started thinking about. Like there wasn't an initial thought, or like there wasn't an initial thing to like really set it off or anything, and there wasn't like a thought that I was holding on to. It's just my brain was just going like 15 paces a minute. And then I wasn't even, at this point, like I said, I just saw the movie. And normally what you would do after you just saw a movie is fucking take like 20 minutes and like think about it and go like, whoa, especially a big like Marvel, cinematic movie. And I get home. I think I sit down for like a minute or two. I apologize, by the way, if my fucking phone is dinging. It's fucking going insane. People blow me up. So I get home. and I'm pacing just back and forth. I'm just walking back and forth in my room like, fucking 1,000 times. And my brain is just going through everything. Like, just, am I doing okay with where I'm at? I'm kind of like mentally checking myself. Sorry, let me clarify for this better for you guys. I'm like mentally trying to like double check on myself with shit. Like, am I doing okay at my job? Am I earning enough money? Am I doing okay? Did I check in with everybody that I need to? And these are good things to have. So I don't want to make that sound like a negative. Like, those are good things to have, and you should always kind of be on top of yourself with stuff. But this was definitely me like freaking out, or at least borderline freaking out. So it started that way, and like I said, I'm pacing back and forth. I'm double checking myself, and then all of a fucking sudden, and I'm guessing if I had to take my brain anywhere, it was probably because, and this isn't too much of a spoiler for anybody, because they show us off in the trailer. So it's coming back to the Spider-Man movie. So obviously, Tom Holland, Peter Parker, he's obviously trying to go after Mary Jane in this one, which is Zendaya. So he's obviously trying to go after her in this one. That's like a very big portion of the movie. It's a main drive for Peter in this movie. Obviously, a bunch of other shit happens. And they're in high school. So for anybody that doesn't know, I was in a very long relationship with my ex. We got together in high school. We dated for 9 years. Been single now for about a year and a half. So obviously the wound isn't fresh by any means. It's been a year and like a half. So it's been a very long period of time. But for some reason, just, I guess the high school romance thing really fucked with me. It's not like I've been proactively trying. I've jumped into some like romantic movies like since the breakup and everything. Because initially out the gate, I can guarantee a lot of people can agree with me. The last thing you want to do when you get into a major breakup is start watching fucking romantic comedies and shit. Because that's just the last fucking thing that you want to see. So I avoided them for a little bit, but then afterwards, after 4 or 5 months, it was okay, and then I could watch anything and not be, completely distraught or affected. But for some reason, this one fucked with me, and I think it was just the trifecta of, like I said, it was like, my brain was just probably in a weird way. I didn't get, like, the quintessential Spider-Man movie that I always secretly hope for, which kind of bummed me out a little bit. And then lastly, it's this high school romance thing, and of course I parallel that to my own life. So yeah, I just got so bummed out, and I was just reflecting on my old relationship, and one thing, if I was to be 100% honest, I think one thing that fucks me up a lot is, and only when I'm in the most dire of situations. I shouldn't say dire, that's very wrong. Only when I'm in my brain the most, like when I'm so self-reflecting, like, I can't get out of my own head. I'm stuck in my head, and I keep cycling this thing. I think the biggest thing that fucks me up a lot is that I think I have this thing that I'm like not good enough for the people, for like the quintessential people that like mattered in my life, or at least the people that haunt me over it. So like my mother, obviously Jesus Christ, I really can count on one hand any major fight that we've ever had. And we've always been good. Thank God for my mother, because I've never really had to worry back and forth about anything like that. And all of my friends, I really can actually say that. All of my friends, I have an amazing support system with. I would not be anywhere without any of them. Just in general, they're fucking phenomenal. And same thing, when I hang out with them, there's no judgment, there's no fucked up shit. Especially now, because like when you get, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna be 27 in a couple months, and I just feel like when you get when you're getting out of your mid-20s, you just kind of hit that point where you're just like, I'm either fucking with these people, or these people cause me too much drama, or these people have too many problems, and you just start cutting people out. And I don't mean that negatively. It genuinely is positive. It's, you don't, you're not putting up a facade anymore. You're just being genuine. And I find that like super important. So anyway, before I get more distracted with the side stories that I'm telling myself. Also, solo podcasting is tough as shit for anybody that hasn't done it. just talking into a mic with no one to bounce off of is very difficult. God, I very much more enjoy having a guest. But anyway, going back to feeling that it wasn't enough, it's in my past relationship, even though I was the one that broke it off. I broke it off because she fell out of it, and we both mutually talked about that, and then we both really couldn't get to a good middle ground. We really couldn't come to I shouldn't say we couldn't come to an understanding. Because we definitely understood each other and we communicated very well. I know a lot of people don't even get that far. I think we just got to a point where we both knew that both of us together were not going to make each other happy. So that's why we decided to end it. But for her, and like I said, for her, she definitely more fell out of it. And for me, that was more of a mental process then that I had to go through after the fact. And I've just always been a type of person, and this might be very uncommon. I've talked to a lot of people and got a lot of mixed responses from. I'm very much a person of when I do fall for somebody, I fall for them 100%. Like that's it. I mean, that's also why I'm also very guarded about those type of things. When I when I essentially meet up or hook up with people, that's fine and that's great. And like even right now, like I'm single and I'm fucking enjoying myself and everything's cool. But like if we're gonna take that next step of commitment, like I'm in it for the long game. And that's not to say I'm a complete fucking drone either. Like of course, there might be problems and you might break it off before then. But that's the point. I'm there to drive that whole car until we get to some type of finish line, whether it's a good one or a bad one. I'm going to be in the car the whole time. That's just the type of, guy that I am. And like I said, I've gotten very mixed responses from a lot of people about that, so I don't think that that's a general consensus thing either. So, no worries for that. The other big one that I felt like I was never enough for was my dad. My dad passed away when I was really young, when I was 14, and I apologize because this is probably reiterating a lot. I know a lot of you guys have probably heard this story back and forth because I know a lot of my friends listen to this mostly. And on top of it too, I know I've brought it up in podcasts before, so I apologize. But just to get you guys in the mindset for where I was at with this. So like I said, my dad passed away when I was young, and it's such a fucked up thing because like I can look at it now, and I honestly can look at it completely rational and just say like, listen, you were 14 years old. There's no fucking way you could have conveyed the thoughts and feelings that as an adult you're able to think about, convey, and talk about. At 14, like you don't even know your ass from your elbow, let alone like what the fuck you're actually thinking, as opposed to the feelings that you're having and what your body's doing, as opposed to what you're actually thinking and the opposites that could happen there. So, and like I said, I mean, death just fucks with you in any way, shape, or form like that, to kind of back it up in general. Like, I don't have, and I will say this, I really do say this, like, I really try not to have any regrets, because I genuinely don't. Like I said, I think that's more importantly why I stick in the car when, like I said, and not even just with relationships, with friendships. Like, I'm fucking in it for the long haul. Like, let's see where the fuck it goes. That's typically why I don't have regrets, even if it's a shitty person, where I'm like, damn, like, most people be like, shit, I wish I never met them. I'm like, well, at least I did give it the try. And if they weren't worth it, at least I definitely went through every facet to double check if they were worth it or not. Because it's not like I jumped off the ship early and then wondered what if the entire time. It's always something that, I've always tried to like double check myself on. Anyway, so between, and like I said, and this is a real fucking downward spiral, but I swear this is going to get positive afterwards. So it was just that. I was thinking about my dad and then like that shit. And then I was thinking about my ex and I was reflecting on that. And then, God, man, I was just in such a fucking mood. And I literally, I think I cried for like fucking a good 30, 40 minutes. And I just did that. But sometimes that's good. And I know this whole thing sounds like, Jesus Christ, Nick, you fucking sad sack piece of shit. That sounds morally depressing. And I genuinely don't want you to take it as that. That's the reason why I'm actually eager to talk about this type of thing. I'm actually glad that it happened. Because sometimes you need that. I feel like sometimes, for me, I go through the motions a lot with a lot of stuff, and my brain goes into a lot of different places. And you just need to have that cathartic moment where you're really just alone, and you're feeling everything, and you're feeling that doubt. And it's not that it's just in the back of your mind, but it's not even just at the forefront. It's fucking taking over for at least a period of time. And, I made sure that I felt all those feelings and that I didn't ignore them. I didn't want to repress those thoughts and stuff. And so I made sure that I feel them and I let that out. And then afterwards and that took time too. That's not a, not a 5-minute fucking procedure. Like I said, it took a little bit. But after that time, I sat down and just got very logical about the whole thing of like, listen, it didn't work out and you were smart about it, you took care of things and you did the right thing, and you know you did the right thing because you're not sitting here crying because you regret what happened. You're just sad about because it was sad. And that's okay. And that's okay for it to be okay for as long as I need it to be. And I know that. And that's a really important thing. And just like I already said with my dad, I kind of already brought up before, so I'm not going to reiterate it. But it's just stuff like that too, of like I was so young, and the you can't regret the things you fucking did at 14. I mean, unless you murdered someone, then maybe you should feel bad about that. But otherwise, you can't hold yourself to the same standard you do when you're older, when you're like 10 years younger or more. Jesus Christ, I'm getting old. So yeah, that's I was really able to, take that breath, really think about it, and take a back step from it. And I find that to be really important. And I'm glad that it happened. On top of all that stuff, I know it probably sounds mixed, but no, I'm very glad that it happened. I'm glad that I could take that breather, whether I knew it was coming that day or not, and move forward from it. There's stuff that I freak out about all the time, and I second guess. I think I do that a lot purely because I want to always try to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Like even my career, I'm very back and forth with and stuff. I think the most important thing, and me bestowing advice upon people that aren't asking for it, so kind of take this with a grain of salt, everybody, or just don't listen to it if you don't want to. By all means, I'm just some schmuck here with a microphone. But I really do mean this. If you have a desire, if you have a dream, if you have a passion, if you have something that you want to do not let fear dictate your passion. And what I mean by that is one thing that I did want to talk about just a little bit without going super ranty is I find that a lot of people think out of fear and use an amazing word to cover up that fear. And that cover up word a lot of the time is what's sensible. So, I really wanted to do this amazing, career path, but, it's not financially stable. So, I then pursued this career, and, now I'm doing that, and it's okay. And I'm not knocking anybody for doing that, because a perfect example right now, in my perfect world, doing this right now would be my setup of income, but it's not. But on a side note, there's a lot of passions that I have that I do that aren't my actual paying job. Like on top of, doing this podcast and stuff and trying to entertain, I Twitch stream. I should be Twitch streaming more, but I'm glad I picked it back up again. That's important. And I think that's what it's coming down to is it's just about initially trying. So I picked up Twitch streaming again, which is super important. And then another thing, I actually really, for some people that actually probably don't know at all, I actually really enjoy cutting hair. That's been a big thing of mine now for quite a few years. I know a lot of my friends at this point probably have heard me talk about it at some point, but now's a good time to actually like officially bring it up. So yeah, so I love that. And I tried to look into career outlets for that for a while. And I really did. I really tried to give it a try, and it just wasn't. It was doing that thing where it was turning what I was passionate about into a full career that then I didn't enjoy. So I took a back step, at least in the sense of, oh, okay, I'm not going to look into, renting a chair at a place or being hired as an official employee at a place. But I freelance. Like I still do it as much as I want to. I do it, and the best part is I get to do it for all the people that I want, which is all my friends. I literally get to do it for any client that I want to. I don't have to walk into a place and deal with people that I don't want to deal with for it. Now, is that 100% a stable career? Absolutely not, at least at the moment. But an aspiration of mine would same thing be to do these type of things and be able to earn, all of my income off that stuff and be able to do exactly what I want to do and be able to set it on my own schedule. That's a real fucking thing down the road that I would love to do, is be able to set my own time for when I want to work. Because I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I'm a fucking night owl. Like, even last night, because I'll let you guys in on a secret. Last night, I tried to do this recording, and it just wasn't fucking coming out right, and I was debating on a bunch of things. I was debating on a bunch of stuff, and I just didn't like how it turned out. I did not like how it turned out at all, so I scrapped it. I scrapped the whole thing. I got about like 25 minutes into it, and I was just like, fuck it. I'm not liking where this is going. So I did this one. I'm a lot happier with where this one's going. Maybe I won't. Maybe when I go to edit it, I'm going to fucking hate it, but I'm probably still going to upload it anyway. So what I was trying to get at before was you just have to fucking pursue your passions. And it doesn't have to be your end all career, but if you can fucking make some money off it, you should fucking do it. And like I said, that's more importantly defined by your terms. And you should always keep trying to pursue those things. It should never be an effort that you just completely take off the table. There should always be something. And of course, do you have to earn money every fucking day? Do you have to pay your bills? Absolutely. I'm one of the most grounded, sensible people you'll talk to. Of course, you should be doing those things, but in the back of your mind, you should always be trying. Just try. It doesn't have to be, when I was first nervous about Twitch streaming, I didn't even know what the fuck to do. I literally had no fucking idea what to do. I was like, oh, you download the Twitch app, and then what the hell do you do? Or for podcasting, I was like, I don't even know what audio program to use to record. How do I record? What mic should I use? What's a good setup for me? What's a good environment that I should run off of? And, after weeks of Googling and having 45 headaches over it, I figured it out. And yes, if I explain to myself all the red tape that comes beforehand, yeah, that fucking sucks. And it sounds like it would waver it off. But then if you tell anyone the deadline or the finish line of like, hey, now you have a podcast that you're starting and recording and you have people on and it's the best thing in the world. You get to just fucking talk to your friends. That's exactly what you get to do. And isn't that what you want to do? And fucking I would tell myself absolutely every fucking time, and it's worth it. I think a lot of people freak out about the initial steps a lot. And especially if you don't know, if you have a dream and you really don't know where to even go to begin from it, where to jump off. And I think the whole point is to just take a shot. Take any shot. Fall on your face, but take a shot. Because really, you'd be shocked at how many people are even paying attention in those initial steps for you to worry about failing. Like, you just shouldn't worry about failing. You really shouldn't. Especially in the beginning, because you're just fucking learning, and it's like the best time to fuck up. It's literally the most advantageous time for you to make every fucking mistake, so you can learn from them and be 30 times better the next fucking day. You'll learn from those mistakes immediately. I think that's super fucking important. And that wraps up my lesson for unquestioned advice from Nick. Oh, man. But yeah, guys, so we're hitting the 30-minute mark. I'm going to wrap this one up. I don't want to rant at you guys too long. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I know there's a lot of pause breaks and stuff. Like I said, I might double check this with an edit. I might not. It might go terribly. Who the fuck knows? I appreciate you guys for listening, for the ones that do. Thank God for all of you. Yet again, shout out to friends and fucking family. I love you all. You've been goddamn amazing in this process. I'm only 12 episodes in, but I could not be happier with starting this whole podcast and where it's been going. The stuff that's down the road to come. I have a bunch of guests scheduled. And I'm just really looking forward to this vacation. I'm going to take a really good break. That should be really nice. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, guys. So on that note, good evening, good night, and good luck. Goodbye, everybody.